Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about absolute value equations. Now, absolute value equations are kind of interesting in my opinion. That's because the way absolute value works, it says whatever comes out of it, whatever we have in there, whenever it's solved, has to be positive, right? That's kind of what these bars do. They guarantee that whatever's in there is positive. So because of that, absolute value equations can only equal positive numbers. If you ever see an absolute value equation that equals a negative number, something's probably going wrong. You probably don't have an actual solution. It's just trying to trick you because absolute value must be positive, right? So here's the deal. If we want to solve an absolute value equation, we have to think about the possibility that even though what it shows it's equal to is positive, what could be inside there might be negative. It's kind of a weird thought, right? Here's the deal. We know that 2x plus 5 is equal to 3. But in reality, after we solve that 2x plus 5, it could be like, the absolute value of 3 is 3. Yeah. Or what if 2x plus 5 is actually negative 3? Because the absolute value of negative 3 would also be 3. So we have to take into consideration both possibilities. To do that, we're going to rewrite this equation with both possible answers. I know that seems weird, but follow along with me. It'll make a little more sense as we go along. So I'm going to write this 2 times. I'm going to write 2x plus 5 equals 3. And then I'm also going to write 2x plus 5 equals negative 3. And I'm going to solve each one of these. So if I solve this first one, it's just a 2-step equation, so I'm going to go a little faster with this. Subtract the 5's, get 2x equals 3 minus 5, or negative 2, and find out that it looks like x might be equal to negative 2 over 2, or negative 1. That's the answer I get for the first equation. Let's take a look at the second one. I'll do this one in a different color so that it shows up a little better here, or we can differentiate it a little bit. 2x plus 5 equals negative 3. I'm going to do the same process. Subtract 5. Cancel these out. Get 2x equals negative 3 minus 5, or negative 8. Divide by 2. And find out that this equation says x equals negative 8 over 2, or simplified into negative 4. What do I do with those answers, though? Why did I get 2 answers? We haven't seen problems before, probably, that have 2 answers. I want to show you why we have those. Apologies for the bell. I'm never going to learn how to work around this. But I'm going to show us why we have those 2 answers. If we take a look at the original problem and we substitute in these values, meaning we have 2, and then instead of x, negative 1 plus 5. Well, 2 times negative 1. Sorry, I just switched colors in the middle of this. I don't know what I'm doing. There we go. That looks a little better. I just changed the color for what I substituted in. 2 times negative 1 makes negative 2. And negative 2 plus 5 is 3. The absolute value of a positive 3 is just 3 because it just keeps it positive. So look at that. We got to our right answer, right? Now what happens, though, if we try our other answer we got? I'll do that one right over here. We had the absolute value of 2. And then in this case, instead of -1, we're going to try our other answer, -4 plus 5. Well, 2 times -4 is -8. So we have -8 plus 5. And then -8 plus 5 is -3. And then what's the absolute value of -3? +3, exactly. We ended up with the same answer. We still were able to solve this equation and get 3. So I know it seems really weird to have 2 answers to a problem, but in absolute value problems, you will 90% of the time have 2 different answers. What we have to do every time you have an absolute value problem that looks like this, just to recap real quick, is you take what's inside the absolute value bars and you set it equal to what it already says it's equal to. Pretty simple. The same equation, just those absolute value bars drop down. But then we have a second equation we write, where instead of what it is equal to being what it says here, we make it negative. So like we did here with -3. We solve both of those, and both answers are our possible solutions for x. If you have any questions about this, we are going to have a second video that goes over it in a little more detail, does a few more examples. Check that out. But also, drop a comment below, and I'll help out however I can. Thanks for watching, guys.